Yeah, why are you using that one again? Good morning. Finish this.
Why is that?
Because you need to put that on our internet.
Okay. I'll just do it here.
You can fix the problem now.
Okay, can you...
It literally is just in settings. And
Oh, what's up, Steven?
why didn't you finish that one?
I thought that you ended it.
I did. Good morning.
What's up, Charlie? How you doing, buddy?
Okay, let's try that one. No, let's... Why isn't it
back.
on your phone settings?
I'm not sure. Okay,
I don't know what I'm doing. Fix it now.
What's up, T? I thought that I had it fixed, but I did not. Morning. Oh my goodness. All right. I've done it again, and I'm cold.
Why
Okay,
isn't it
forget
on
that.
your... Good morning, people.
I don't know. We're going to do it on this one. Sorry, we're trying to get the Instagram feed lined up. So today is day 2 of Sex Week. We're going to answer 2 questions, and we're also going to talk about sex as sex is not an afterthought, which a lot of times it is, which is not cool. So, okay. We're going to go live here instead. What's up, Insta? All right.
It's a messy morning. It's going to be funny what my hair is doing at the end of this because it's wet.
Mm-hmm. So isn't it funny? We got all the... Oh, there we go. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Whew. Finally, we're live.
Good morning. Good morning.
What's
Okay.
up, Nate? What's up, Aaron?
Darn thingamajig.
Sorry about last year's NFL season, Aaron Rodgers. Just kidding. Sure you never heard that one.
Okay. Getting there.
Okay. What's up, Juan?
Hello.
Good to see you. Okay.
All right. I think we're there.
Yes, we are. All right. You ready to go?
No, but I'll go.
Pre-show stuff. You guys, thank you so much for joining us on Insta and Facebook. You guys see the pre-show of the getting ready of the podcast stuff, which we're not even recording the podcast right now, but we're about to. So, all right. Ready to go? Mm-hmm. All right.
Hello and welcome to Anatomy of Marriage Radio. I'm your host, Melanie Studley.
What's up, my friends? My name is Seth Studley. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist and a clinical fellow of the American Association of Marriage and Family Therapy. Just to impress everybody. Woo.
All right. And today we are going to be talking, we're in episode 2, day number 2 of our Sex Week, which we're really excited about it. And today's topic is called Sex is Not an Afterthought, which we came up with last week, and we want to talk about that idea. But before we do that, we want to do the 4 things we do every day. We do prayer, gratitude, intention, and our question of the day. So we encourage you to do these with your spouse because it'll help your marriage.
That's right. All right, let's pray. Thank you, God, Creator, for your blessings. Thank you for the things that you have given us. Thank you for this show and our friends all across the land. I pray that this is helpful to them and also to us because we're all in this together. Thank you, God. Amen.
Amen. And as always, we are live on Instagram and Facebook right now. So as you're listening to the podcast, you're going to hear us talking to our people who are watching.
That's right. And this is a special double show because later on, in about 45 minutes or so, about an hour, we're going to go live with Ramsey personality John Deloney. So we're going
to squish them together.
Yeah, we're going to squish them together so people are going to hear this and a special guest appearance by John Deloney. So send in your questions, especially if you're on Instagram. You can request to join the show, ask questions about sex, and it's always fun. Okay, my thankfulness towards you, gratitude towards you is you, and this is like just how your personality is and what you do for our family. So last night we stayed up late with all the kids, and we're just sitting on the floor talking. And we did our PIGS last night, which is an acronym for prayer, intentions, goals, and gratitude. And that's something that Melanie has started with the kids during this homeschool time. And we did it last night with the kids, and we just talked with the kids, and that was really cool. And I do not do stuff like that because I'm worried about going to the next thing, like, oh, I gotta go read, or I gotta go to bed, or blah, blah, blah. And you slow that down, so thank you for that.
You don't practice present moment awareness?
No, I don't.
I do.
I try to. I really do. You know what? Bullcrap. There is no try. It is either I do it or don't do it, and I don't do it.
But you'll start.
Yes.
And I'm glad that you appreciate the pigs that we did last night. It wasn't my idea. It was Mariner's idea to do it last
Which
night.
is even more beautiful.
He did it the other night too.
What's up, Rachel?
So my gratitude is that for Mother's Day, I don't think that I've ever received a kinder gift. I thought it was the sweetest thing ever. So I am totally obsessed right now with Nadia Hussein's show, Time to Eat on Netflix. It is the best cooking show. And I really encourage. She was I think she won the Great British Baking Show. I think she was one of the winners. But Nadia Hussein's Time to Eat. It's such a good show. Our kids adore it. And for Mother's Day, you knew I wanted to get her recipe book. But I'm funny with stuff. I don't want to own anything I don't want to own. And you're like, oh crap, it's from England and it would take like 3 weeks to get here. So you printed off the recipes from like her website and like stapled them together and printed them in color, and I thought that was the nicest, sweetest thing. It was the most thoughtful gift, I thought, and I really wanted her recipes, so I really appreciate that.
So you got them. You're welcome. I'm happy to do it.
Again, do these with your partner. Tell them something that you're thankful for that they did today or yesterday or recently, and vice versa. It will literally change how you see and feel about them.
Yeah,
so
that's true. So
intentions.
# Real Talk intentions. So I'm going to call both of us out. We say to do intentions here sometimes, but after we put the mics down and we're not on the camera, sometimes we don't do that stuff. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Sure, but I try to do mine every day.
You try to do yours, and I have been falling short a little bit, so I intend to not do that today. So
I'll tell you why you fall short. You want to talk # Real Talk?
Yeah.
It's got 4 letters. BEER.
Beer?
Beer. That's why you fall short. Beer makes you not reach your goals.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't drink that much of it, and it does not help you reach your goals.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
So.
Okay, somebody says, my husband has told me he feels no remorse when he hurt me this week by asking me and my daughter to leave the house so he could get a break from her. This really concerned me. Ooh, well, that's a big one. Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. Obviously, there's some stuff going on. Maybe he said that out of anger, or maybe he said that just straight up, but I definitely would suggest talk about that more. Maybe do
the clearing structure. Hold on. No, this is what we're going to do. Go to either getyourmarriageon.com and get the app for free and get the clearing structure within the app and walk through it. Because here's the thing. When I read that question, I have asked Seth to do the exact same thing, and I did not have any remorse because I needed a break. But it's all in the nature in which you ask. So
was it in a fight though?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Was your question? Did it happen like he was super mad and he threw something and he told you to leave and he hates your guts? There's so much context that we do not have. So go get the app. It's free. You can also go to anatomyofmarriage.com and download the PDF, but I highly recommend just get the app and do that with your husband, because that's going to help you answer your question. But needing space is not the end of the world. And when we get into a marriage where we don't think we can have space, that is not great.
That's a really good point.
So I just from one lady to another, I've literally asked Seth to do the same thing. Have you done the clearing structure? You got to do the clearing structure. Anyway, Seth, I love that you asked that question, but you were talking about intentions. Was there something else you wanted to say?
No, I'm good.
But what is your intention now?
My intention now is to be present moment awareness. I'm kind of okay. # Real Talk again. I'm in a little funk of the COVID stuff, right? It's the same thing over and over. Go to an office, talk to people. It's just it's a groove that I don't like being in, kind of thing.
Sure.
And so I want to. You're cutting me off.
No, I said sure.
I want to be more present a moment awareness, right? I don't want to do things to not just think about where I am right here, right now.
I like it. I like that. I want to continue. My intention is to continue sort of projecting out the way I feel inside. And I feel like I'm doing a pretty decent job of it, and I'm enjoying it a lot. But it does take a massive amount of mental energy to kind of manifest what I want to manifest.
When you said project out what you feel inside, I literally, and this is funny, I feel like Nacho Libre when he jumps around the thing, he goes,
do I know Nacho
like
Libre? Yes.
So that's usually how I feel. I'm usually in a good mood. I am a very happy person inside.
Yes.
Just by myself, I'm a very happy person, right? And I usually feel,
Please don't. You're going to like knock stuff over.
that's what I feel like. So I really like the visual of you projecting outwardly what you're feeling inside, because I know, just like a Maple Hills Eagle from your elementary school, you have greatness inside you.
I will use my greatness to make good choices, to be the best me I can be.
Because if you're trying to be somebody else, you're not going to be a good job of them, are you?
That's be a good job of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so today, thank you for that. That's awesome. Prayer, intention, gratitude, and thankfulness of what we share. So today, we're talking about sex is not an afterthought. And this, you came up with this title, and I thought it was really interesting as I was thinking about it.
You came up with this title.
Okay, apparently.
Keep on. My nose
My
is
brain
running.
is not working. But sex is not an afterthought, at least maybe for guys, right? And I'm not going to stereotype every guy, every lady out there, but for me, which I think I'm a fairly normal dude, sex is not an afterthought. I'm always thinking about it. And when you say always thinking about it, I am not thinking about it with other people or whatever. It's like, I would like to be with my wife, right? It doesn't matter if we just went bankrupt. It doesn't matter if we won the lottery. It doesn't matter if we ate, or if we're starving hungry, or if it's raining, or if it's cold. It doesn't matter. It is not an afterthought. We can.
We can.
Okay, Studley, slow down. It is. I can get there very easily, and if there's an opportunity, then I would say yes to it. Anytime. It doesn't matter, but that doesn't mean that I'm just thinking about it all the time, and I'm like super into it. I'm not saying that, and I don't know if you can understand that as a woman, maybe, but it's like. Name something that brings you real connection, real pleasure, real just a feeling of greatness.
Coffee.
Okay, well, but you can't even drink coffee anytime, anywhere, right?
Decaf.
Maybe you would receive a hug from Hattie, our beautiful, sweet little daughter, anytime, anywhere. It's like, I will always do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how I'm using it as an analogy, I guess, like that. You know, you're not thinking about hugging Hattie all the time and obsessing with it, nor am I about sex and intimacy, right? However, but you'd always be willing to receive a hug, right? So it is not an afterthought. Now, the intention of foreplay and actually good sex sometimes is an afterthought. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we're using the analogy of hugging our kids I think that's a really great analogy.
Yeah.
Like when the kids were in school and they would have to go to school every day, there's the like unintentional version of like, okay, eat your cereal, bye, have a good day.
Give me a hug here, see
Yeah,
ya.
like you don't care, you're actually not connected, versus sitting down and looking at them and being like, I hope you have a really good day today. You're so sweet. I'm so proud of you. Have fun, be good, whatever. Here's your lunch. I wrote you a note. Like I see the difference of just the connection that is there. They're still both connecting, but one is much better. One is much more intentional. And I think meaningful in the long run.
Yeah. So from a guy's perspective, it's never an afterthought. It's always being thought about. And on the same coin, it's a dichotomy, right? It is and it isn't kind of thing. It is an afterthought.
Master Oogway?
Don't do. Or not Master Oogway, Jocko Willink. You know, the dichotomy of leadership. There's two sides to it, but it's the same coin. The afterthought, the thing that I am guilty of, is not being intentional around foreplay with you, getting you in the mood, kind of thing, right? Because it can be sex to me, sure, anytime, but that's low quality on your part. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So tell me what the female perspective is around that, like afterthought of always being thought about and not being thought about, if that makes sense to you. Because I think for a guy's perspective, this is a really good conversation. Yeah,
no, I'm glad that we're having this conversation, because from my, I go back to this thing that I learned from Dr. Tina Shermer Sellers. I can't remember what we were talking about or where we were, but we were talking about motherhood. And if you're a stay-at-home mom and you've got kids at home, you are there. It's really crazy because you are at your home all day long with your kid, and your kid is yeah, they're hard to take care of sometimes, but for the most part, you've got a kid who adores you. They need you. They love you. They touch
They're
you.
touching you.
They talk to you. They do cute things that you get to ooh and ah over. And like even, you know, if I jog in the yard, our kids want to hold my hand. Our 12-year-old son will be like, "Can I hold your hand?" I'm like, "Heck yeah." So I'm getting dopamine and wonderful, like endorphin, lovely, happy vibes all day long, just as a mom. You aren't getting those.
You're receiving
yes.
dopamine.
Yes.
You're not doing things that manufacture it yourself, right?
Yes. Yeah.
You're being poured into.
Yes.
And sorry, I'm going to interject
Go ahead.
here. But when I like leave the house or go back and talk to clients in our makeshift office, I am, this is funny, I'm putting out.
Yeah.
Right? I am putting out all day long.
Pouring your, like, talking, and you're not getting anything. You are only giving.
Right. My meter is going down while your meter is going up.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, I am just...
You're empty.
I'm empty, right? Of course, I still have stuff to give to you, like, hey, sweetie, how's it going? You know, hugs and talk and whatever. And then, of course, play with the kids. But then I'm still putting out. And at the end of the day... I'm not going to be...
Keep it cool.
I'm not going to be crass.
Totally.
Then I need to be poured into, right? I don't need to put out.
Yeah.
I need the opposite of that, right? I need to be put on. Or put in, I guess.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's a really good analogy. And the same thing would be if there was a stay-at-home dad, even.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Of course, it's different that way. But, well... It would be equal to if you leave the house away from kids and say you're a therapist where you're putting out all day, you need to come home and be poured into, right? So that is going to be a perfect segue and a topic of conversation in about 45 minutes when we talk with Dr. John Deloney about the idea of sex as recharging and connecting.
Yeah.
Because that is what it absolutely is for guys.
But I want to make sure that I finish this thought like, when you're a stay-at-home mom and you have kids, even if parenting is a struggle, there are still so many chemicals of love, care, affection that are being produced within you as a mom that when your husband comes home. So this is something when I speak at MOPS events and I speak to mothers specifically, which I adore doing. If you want me to speak at a MOPS event, call me. I love talking to moms. But one of the things I hear all the time, especially with moms of younger kiddos, is that they're like, I don't want my partner to touch me. So think about what we're talking about. The title of today's conversation is Sex is Not an Afterthought. But to a young mom or a mom with a young child, you're like, sex is the most afterthoughts of all afterthoughts possible.
Right.
Because you're touched out. That's a thing we hear all the time. My kid has been touching me all day long. My kid has been nursing all day long. I cannot be touched by one more human. I mean, when our kids were little, it was like, seriously, someone was touching my legs 24 hours a day. It was like I never was alone.
It's like our house was an octopus factory with a bunch of octopi on the walls with their things going, and they just touched you.
They could talk and cry. And like even if you're going to the bathroom, their fingers are under the door. They're trying to unlock the door. They figured out how to unlock it with a knife or whatever. Right. So it's very hard because you have these two very opposing forces and this is where I want to challenge everybody. So you've got the mom or the stay-at-home parent who is touched out, dealing with kids all the time, talking constantly. They're like, but they're also being fed this little dopamine hit every time your kid does something cute. So you're kind of touched out and full of all of the love and emotional chemicals, but then your partner is the exact opposite. He or she is drained and needs to be touched. So we've got to figure out what is a combining of these two concepts, a fusion of the overtouched full person and the undertouched empty person. Because sex is not an afterthought. And I think that I am completely have been guilty in the past, especially when our kids were little, of being like, sex doesn't matter to me, so sorry, Seth. You know, like where else is Seth going to get sex? Let's just ask that question. Silence.
That sounds weird. Like,
that's why I want to ask it.
Get sex.
I don't care if it sounds weird. Where are you going to get a hug?
Nowhere.
Yeah. But where am I going to get a hug?
From a million kids
3
all day.
children all day long and the dog who I hug all the time. I'm obsessed with our dog. But you know what I'm saying? Like you are so biopsychosocial spiritual body, biology,
Right.
sex is a part
Chemicals,
of that.
everything.
Right? And so to be like, oh, let's just ignore the biological side of us. So I don't know if I just flew over something really important, but biopsychosocial, spiritual, biological, psychological, social, and spiritual. These are the elements that kind of make up humans. And if we ignore any one of them, it kind of screws us up.
Then it gets out of balance, of course. Think about a seesaw. If you have too much weight on this side, oh, you're out of balance. So if I'm eating too much food and not working out, I'm out of balance. If I'm working out all the time and not paying attention to family, friends, finances, then that is upside down. It's not balanced. So it's about keeping things in balance. Somebody says, whoa, this is a perfect description of my situation with my husband. I'm a stay-at-home mom with a 9-month-old. So true. Very true. So how can you positively affect your situation right now? Listen to what we're saying. That's where our young family is right now. My wife says I am touched out all the time. It's been very interesting lesson in passenger and adjusting patience and adjusting to how we can be close now. Yeah, it really is. And of course, our kids aren't as young now, so but you're still touched out. You're at least talked out because especially now because the kids just don't.
It's like
stop
we have
talking,
3 children,
which is not a bad thing.
Like,
we're not like dissing that. Of
our
course.
kids are like all TV announcers. They just never stop talking. But
Charlie says that's a big part of what separates a marriage from friends. Yes,
it's a very great point. So one of the things I want to recommend when our kids were younger, and this is literally not that many years ago. I remember telling Seth, I want, and this was a huge sort of mind-blowing concept. It just sort of popped into my head one day. He said his classic line, "I'd like to be together tonight." And I said to him, sure, but I want relaxation sex.
Yes.
I was so worn out. I was so tired of like kids constantly talking and fighting, and like I think it was the summertime and kids are like slip and sliding and there's grass everywhere and there's a dog everywhere. I mean, like there's just stuff everywhere. And it was so overwhelming. And I said, okay, if we want to be together, or if we want to have sex, it needs to be what I am calling relaxation sex, because if it's not, I am not participating. Right. And so that was actually the first time that we became aware, sort of our own whatever, that
what do you mean
sex,
own whatever?
Our own idea was that sex could be different things. It could be relaxing. It could be exhilarating. It could be calm. It could be yogic. It could be whatever, right? Like it can be all these different...
Meditative, just like super chill.
Yeah, meditative, or it could be really like hot and spicy, whatever. That was really insightful for us and very helpful, because I needed to feel like I could decompress. I needed to feel... And, sorry, cut myself off. This is like speaking at MOPS. I get really, really passionate about this.
No, I love it.
It helped me a ton to want to have sex with Seth if I could do yoga for an hour first. And when I say yoga, I don't mean like challenge yourself, push yourself, make yourself sweat. I mean like meditative yin yoga, like you are listening to Deepak Chopra and his amazing voice, or Wayne Dyer and his transcendental, I don't even know. And I'm just having to like brain dump out and sit in
How about
calm
this?
light.
Just chill.
Yes.
With no kids, no whatever. Put on your favorite record, your favorite CD, or who knows what.
Yeah.
And just actual chill.
It's called Spotify.
Right. And you've asked me, say, hey, take the kids, don't let them come in our bedroom.
Yeah.
You know, you even lock the door, and I take them outside just to chill out, right? And to give you that time. And the same thing.
Seth will literally take the kids away from the house, and I will tell him, please take them anywhere. I need 1 hour or 2 to not hear voices speaking to me, not have someone ask me for anything. I need this if you want to be together tonight. I'd like to be together tonight.
Okay, that's funny. So, coming back to sex is not an afterthought, and we're talking about some of the ways that men think about it and other ways that women think about it, and then actual real practical tips. So, men, here's a super easy takeaway. If you want to be with your wife, with your partner that night or whatever, whenever you do it,
yes,
give them something that they need, something that they want, something that they've asked for, to get their minds settled, you know, and reintroduce the idea of relaxation sex. Just chill out, right? So you can't just go, okay, let's chill. No, it's a slow process. Just like I don't wake up, you know, and my running shoes are right at the foot of the bed, and I don't even touch the ground with my bare feet. I just slip straight into my shoes, and then I run out the door. You don't, or most people don't do that, right?
Yeah.
You have to wake up a little bit, like, okay, have some water, do a quick stretch, kind of get your mind right, and then start slow, and then ease into like your sprinting kind of thing, right?
You know, there's a couple things that I want to say. So someone says,
okay,
my
I'm
husband just says, okay, I'm ready for you. Sounds like a dentist.
I know.
Next.
There's
2 things that came to mind as you were saying, as we're talking about this conversation. And one is that I've often heard women say in MOPS meetings, personal friends talking and different things.
After conferences?
After conferences, yes. If, as a woman, you can honor and respect that. So again, this goes back to Dan Siegel. Honor differences. What am I saying? Honor differences, promote connection, promote linkages. So if I can honor that we have a difference and that sex is not an afterthought for you, and then I lovingly say, okay, I will participate in this. It matters to Seth. We'll make this good. We're not just going to like, have sex, right? Then the crazy part is that Seth will in turn give me more of what I want.
Right.
I'm giving him more of what he wants. He will give me more of what I want. More affection, more love, more doting, more kindness. And this is a sentiment I hear often where women are like, but if I just give in and give him sex in a way that feels good to him and that's connecting, he will, quote, just give in and then do the things that I want. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, it's like that Zig Ziglar quote.
It's a serendipitous exchange.
Yes. If you help other people, this is what Zig Ziglar says.
By other people, we mean your spouse.
If you help other people get what they want, if you help enough people get what they want, you get what you want. And it's just like a magic formula that works. Your dad told me this a long time ago in business and stuff. Is like, hey, go do good work. And this is in the social services, mental health field. Go do good work and you don't have to worry about the money. Dave Ramsey says, help enough people and you don't worry about money, right? So help your spouse, help your person because you are my person, right? You are my only person, right? That we share a billion things with. And I don't want anybody else, right? And I'm that to you. So if I help you get what you want, in the end, you will want to, and it's just, again, like a magic formula. There's nothing nefarious about this. There's nothing conniving or manipulative about this. This is, I am helping you. Oh, and you know what? Oh, funny thing is, I've noticed you helping me get what I want a lot more. You know what I'm saying? And here's, so again, that sex is an afterthought, and the dichotomy of that just keeps on coming around. So think about this. Everybody knows, if you've listened to the show for more than 2 seconds, that I love scones and pastries.
Did
right?
not know what you were going to say. I love...
I'm just kidding. You know when you...
Keep on.
Like when you do that thing.
Okay, no thanks. That's really funny. But keep on.
Like when we're out to...
Keep it clean. That voice is really funny.
It is? Okay, I'll use that more often. No, hey, hotcakes. That's a funny
Where's Kit and Breath when we need,
know, right?
when we need him?
Okay, what was I saying?
You like scones.
I like scones. And if we had unlimited money and I wouldn't get super fat and unhealthy, then I would eat scones every day.
Yeah.
It is just something that I like. So if you said, Seth, you're the best, I love you, let's go to the bakery every day. You know, I will drive you there. I support it. We have money, so it's not like unbalanced and we're spending like crazy. And we're, you know, working out to like keep things in balance. Then I would go to the bakery every day. And guess what? Oh, hey, Mel, you know, on the way to the bakery, let's stop by the van store, you know? No, I'm serious.
Oh, I thought you meant vans like cars. But you
Well,
mean
that
vans
too.
like shoes.
That too, or Vans shoes, or you know, hey, let's go to World Market Plus, World
Cost
Plus Market.
World Market.
Let's go to the farmers market. Let's do every single thing that you want to do. You see what I'm saying? So you're helping, you're facilitating your standard operating procedures, getting what I want, and then hey, on the way, it's just a natural magic thing that happens. You don't even have to think about it. Oh, hey, let's go to the thing.
Yeah.
Let's go to the nursery. Let's plant those favorite plants that you wanted. Oh, let's go look at houses. Let's do every single thing that you want.
You're making me really discontent. Like, I have
What
to
do you mean?
homeschool today, and all I want to do is go to the bakery and look at houses and vans and go to the nursery.
Well, we will. We will.
One thing I want to say that really has...
Hey, Jennifer. It's so good to see you.
One thing that I want to say that's really impactful for me that I've been... So I know that sex is important, and I'm trying to prioritize its importance to you in our relationship. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that helps me and women or lower drive partners, something that I think is very important to do is, we talked about sexuality being an energy and like energy being really important. So if I come into the room and I'm like, and I'm making like an ugly fart face and I'm mad, who wants that energy? Nobody wants that energy.
And when you're saying energy, we're not talking about woo-woo. We're talking about the vibe.
Like,
right?
literally the energy you're putting out there.
Which
like
is really, which, I mean, we call it vibe, but it is an energy.
Think of the energy of a cat versus a dog, right?
Yeah.
Or like the energy of an angry kid versus a happy kid. It matters.
A barking dog or a super nice dog that's like wanting to... you know.
And so here's the most important part about this. You can change your energy by changing your thoughts. And one of the ways that I've had to do this is I need to have positive sexual energy for Seth if I'm going to be with him sometimes. And I'm serious when I say that, because I want to have good sex. I'm not interested in mediocre sex.
Right.
So I'm not going to be like, oh, fine, I'll do it this time. If you're doing that, I suggest you stop. And I suggest that you try to change your own sexual energy before being with your partner.
Right.
And so one of the ways that I have done this, again, it is just, this works for me, is that I start with gratitude and I look around and I go, okay, my husband paid for all of this. The van I drive, the food my kids are eating, the Vans I'm wearing on my feet, the dog was free, the dog food, the hammocks in our yard. And I say to myself, and I am not kidding, I will say thank you to Seth with my body. I know that Seth appreciates that and my body. I will say thank you to him with my body. Do you know how empowering that feels? It feels amazing.
Oh, wow.
I suggest that you try it.
Why does that feel empowering?
Because I know that I can do that. I feel like I know that I have like a magic goddess inside of me.
Right.
And I hope every person knows that. If you don't, tap into it and try it out with your spouse.
Right.
But it's amazing to know that I can do that. It's very similar, gonna sound really weird, very similar to breastfeeding, nursing a child and sustaining their entire...
making a kid in
Yeah,
your body.
like that's the sexiest thing I think I've ever done, but it seems like the opposite of that, right? Carrying a baby and like literally your body knows what it's supposed to do. It does all of it for you. You don't have to do anything but get it out eventually, right? And like literally breastfeeding, it just goes, okay, I know how to do that.
Right.
And you go, okay, yeah, I guess it knows how to do that. And I've done it.
Well, you don't even know how to do it. It's instinctual.
That's what I'm saying. It's an instinctual thing. And so if I can switch my mindset from being like, what culture says sex is, like 90s and Victoria's Secret and gross things and wacky stuff, and if I switch it to like, I'm just gonna say thank you to Seth with my body.
Okay, that is awesome. So Fearless has a question. What are your thoughts on scheduling sex? We talked about this a couple days ago. I think it is awesome to schedule sex.
We've never done
Have we ever done it out of almost 16 years of marriage? No, because we're stupid.
We love the idea
I'm
of
just kidding. We're not stupid. I love the idea of it. Hey, do you schedule what you're going to have for supper? Do you plan out? Yeah. You go to the grocery store and go, I don't know. What's going to fall in my cart? Pizza fell in.
What?
No, you don't do that, right?
Just wait for something to jump into your cart.
Do you schedule when you go to the gym? Yes. Do you schedule a dentist appointment? Yes. You do.
I like the idea of scheduling sex because
I love it.
It puts you in a brain space automatically. You know. You go, I know I'm going to do that.
So this is what I don't understand. So Fearless, yes, I believe it's a great idea. And other therapists say it's a great idea too. And the research bears it out as well. I have no idea why we love it. We love the idea, but we have not done it. I don't know why that's not connecting yet.
I don't know.
Somebody says, empowering because nobody else can give that gift to you.
Yes.
That's exactly right. Like if I know that I am the only person on earth that, like I said a minute ago, I am Melanie's person. Only I can give this to her, right? And not in a weird lording it over ways. Like, no, only I have the very special blessing and opportunity to give that to her, whatever it is, and likewise you, the same. So, when you were talking about what, 90s and all this stuff, I was thinking about this. I don't like lingerie anymore.
Okay, that helps our budget. Why?
Because sometimes it's scratchy. It's scratchy and it feels uncomfortable. And I like just kind of like, hey, a really loose t-shirt or whatever. And I mean, we can talk about it later.
It's scratchy.
But I think that might, maybe, I don't know, we can talk about it. Hashtag real talk in front of our friends. Taking the pressure off of you to like wear stuff that you might not even like. Or maybe you do like, maybe you feel super sexy in it.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know.
was the thing I was actually going to say. I'm glad that you brought that up. Is that I don't, I think women specifically think that men only find them sexy when they are living up to the cultural standards of beauty. Mm-hmm. So if I have a nightie on, or if I went to Victoria's Secret and spent freaking $500 on garbage lingerie crap, if I did that, then he'll think I'm sexy, and I don't really think that that's true.
Right.
And so I want people to have.
People can like that. I'm not dissing it. You know, if you feel good at it, and your man, your partner, whatever likes it, then yeah, go for it. But
I think I want people to have conversations. I want married couples to literally have conversations about what, and the app is the perfect place to do this, because Get Your Marriage On has conversation starters around intimacy that literally ask. Like, I don't even feel comfortable posting some of them on our social media, because I'm like,
really?
That's really like, yeah. It's like, if you could take me anywhere right now and have sex with me, where would it be? Like, it's a great conversation to have with your spouse. It's really awkward to put on your social media.
Right.
But it's in the app. Like, things like that.
You get some weird replies on that one.
Which are literally like, think about the things that you actually enjoy. So many times we're afraid to talk about sex, so we assume that the cultural norm or what is projected on TV shows and movies is what our partner likes. That could be really wrong. It could be really, really, really wrong. And how sad of it for us to miss these opportunities to connect genuinely in a way that is like life-giving to us, because we're assuming that the cultural norm is what our partner likes. That's a shame. You know what I mean? Yeah. So ask your spouse, especially when it comes to this conversation of sex is not an afterthought. If you were to say thank you with your body and say to your spouse, hey, what is the most just amazing thing I could do for you? Forget what culture says, forget all that stuff. What right now, and think about this, you got to match sexual energies too. That's a vibe. You got to make a fusion, and talk about it in a more open and honest way. Does that make sense? What are you doing?
Yeah, it's awesome. I want to segue into a question that we got last week when we talked about we were kicking off Sex Week this week. So somebody says, what's the best way to open up a conversation about sex? Sometimes it can feel awkward to tell your spouse you want something done differently. How do we avoid the potential insult or embarrassment? So I'm not sure if this is from a
just answer the question.
Okay. So let's see. How do we avoid the potential insult or embarrassment?
I can tell you.
Okay, go ahead.
So a couple ways. Get Your Marriage On, the app that we made, makes it very. It's like it gives you that third like triangulation thing. So if Seth and I are just looking at each other talking about sex, that feels really weird. But if there's literally, we're looking at a phone answering a question that is meant to be talked about, it feels a lot less weird.
Right.
We don't even look each other in the eye if we don't have to, right? So that I'm suggesting Get Your Marriage On, the app. And you can get that on our website at anatomyofmarriage.com or getyourmarriageon.com. So that is one way. It is literally a tool to help you feel less awkward. Another thing is schedule that conversation. So say, hey, I want to talk about our intimacy. And this could even be through email. It doesn't need to be face-to-face. I know that sounds weird, but sometimes that's easier and better.
Sometimes that is easier. Melanie and I used to practice recording ourselves on our phones.
Just the audio, not the video.
Yeah, just doing a voice memo and saying... Just really having an out loud conversation. I would do it on my way to work in the car or whatever. Sometimes I would go outside if we were having an argument or anything, and then sending that to her. And it was really helpful. And one thing that instantly came to my mind around this is, somebody says, try saying, let's try it this way.
Yeah,
that's really good. Hey, here's an idea. You're not wrong. I'm not wrong. We're not doing anything bad. Hey, let's try it this way.
Yeah.
So that's a really good. That's
it's
a really good leading question.
Bring in a new option.
So we always talk about the clearing structure as a remedy to fix something that we don't like, right? Hey, I don't know.
You're not nice with the kids or whatever.
Right, you leave your socks on the thing or whatever. Or more serious issues, when you call me stupid in front of the kids, it makes me feel X, Y, Z. And using the clearing structure is a very valuable tool that utilizes I statements. But let's flip it over. Let's use the clearing structure in a case like this, by bringing up new stuff like, hey, when you are with me and show me that you love me in this way, it makes me feel XYZ, like just great and loved. And what that reminds me of is in the early years when we would connect so much and just we were so present and mindful about things. And what I want from you in that is more of that, you know, and what I want for myself is to be able to continue to give myself to you in that way, you know. So the clearing structure we always talk about, and I'm using the words always very specifically because more oftentimes than not we've used it this way, as the clearing structure as a
it's like a remedy to a negative.
Right.
But you're saying
we can flip it and use it in a positive way. And this can be very encouraging. It can be empowering. It can also lift each other up and help to galvanize the good things that are going on in your marriage.
It's rewarding positive affirmations that it's like training the dog to do, like, shake your hand.
Right.
Like he's not going to do it if you don't reward the thing you actually want.
Yeah, and that's more like classical conditioning, and I'm not talking about that.
Pavlov.
Yeah.
Pavlovian.
I
know what you mean.
What's up, Laura? Yeah, so let's use the clearing structure also to answer questions like this, and use the clearing structure as a
today, Junior.
Boy.
Anyone get it?
A protective factor, right? In therapy, we talk about using protective factors such as, well, there's a whole thing that we do with protective factors, but using the clearing structure in a positive way to act as a positive intervention, a strength building intervention, as a protective factor. Like, hey, everything's going awesome. I'm going to use the clearing structure today with my wife. Hey, when you cleaned the kitchen before I came home so I could cook supper, it made me feel like you really listened to me. And it made me feel like we're both part of this as a team. You cleaned the kitchen to set it up for me to cook good food and feed you guys. And I'm so happy and so proud to do that. And what that reminds me of is I am being the best husband I can be because I'm providing for you guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you use it as a protective factor, as a positive intervention.
I like that. That's a really cool idea.
So, okay, let's wrap this up because you guys, I want you to join us on Instagram and Facebook Live in about...
An hour?
In about an hour. In about, actually, 45 minutes. Because we're going to talk to Dr. John Deloney. We're going to continue to talk about sex, which is really cool because he's got some good views on that. And also, we're going to continue the conversation on sex as connecting and recharging. Ooh.
Yes. So join us very soon, and this will be tagged on to the end of this episode if you're listening to the pod.
That's
and
right.
we love y'all. See you all in a minute.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
All right. Good show.